You are joining us from what was once the centre of the known civilised world. This was once the capital, in fact, of the Roman Empire. Well, just a few miles north to be precise. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Long Valley Circuit of Vallelunga. This is round two, the 12th season of the world's most competitive junior car racing series, the Italian F.4 Championship, presented by WSK Promotion, together with Archie Sport. 40 drivers from 27 nations arriving here at the Roman circuit for round two of the championship. You can see beautiful sunny skies here. We did not have that for yesterday's qualifying sessions. A downpour, a tropical downpour, which did hit the circuit yesterday afternoon. It did clear in time for qualifying, but the track was still saturated. It did dry. A couple of drivers gambled on the slick tyres. It was still a wet qualifying session. Kin Nakamura taking pole position in Group 1, but was David Cosma Christopher who took overall pole position. The young Romanian rookie for the PHM racing team, he'll start on pole position for race 2 later this afternoon. Once again, as at Misano, the field divided into two groups. Kin Nakamura, the championship leader, taking pole position in Group 1. And we're about to hear from the Japanese Prema Racing driver who spoke to us after qualifying.
Yeah, it was a good job by us. I think I did a pretty decent job putting the laps together. We didn't do that many push laps just because did a few boxing in and a few problems at the start. But overall, it was a good quali. Team did a mega job of the setup. Half a second over clear in our group to P2. We end up in Group B, but I always knew that was going to happen. Track was drying. Second session was always going to be faster. And but yeah, I'm really happy to take the pole. Big thanks to the team for the mega effort, and we'll try to continue this sort of momentum tomorrow.
Second year in the championship for Kin Nakamura, and he had a dominant first round of the championship at Misano. He is the championship leader. Fastest in the first group. The track did dry slightly for the second group of qualifying at 6 p.m. local time last evening. A few drivers on slicks. It was still just a wet track. And David Cosma Christopher, only his 5th ever car race, took his first pole position. Multiple WSK kart racing champion, but Grid 1 for race 2 later this evening. We spoke to the Romanian after qualifying.
It was very tricky qualifying because it just rained and then the sun came out, and yeah, it was the track was drying, and we don't know whether we should have gone with slicks or with wet, but in the end we went with wet. I think maybe if we would have went like 10 minutes later, for sure it would have been slicks. There were a lot of water patches on the track, so yeah, that stopped us from putting the slicks. I feel a bit nervous for tomorrow because I never started in the top 5 ever, so for sure it's going to be a bit challenging with the start and with the battles in front because there are a lot of experienced drivers. But yeah, I'll just keep my calm and hopefully we can do a great result also in the races.
DCC will start a Grid 1 for race 2 later this evening. 40 drivers. The track capacity of this 4,085 metre Roman circuit is 36 cars. So as we did at Misano, dividing the field into groups, this will be race 1 for groups B versus C. So Kin Nakamura, who you just heard from a few moments ago, he's the championship leader. We'll start on pole position alongside Luca Samalisto from Finland, who was narrowly just a few thousandths of a second away from taking pole position for race 1. But the Finn for the US racing team will start on the front row of the grid. 26 drivers on the grid for race 1. This is B versus C. 6 o'clock this evening, we'll see David Cosma Christopher start from pole position for the first time. And we believe, despite the efforts of Filip Ugran a few years ago, will be the first Romanian to start on pole position. But let's hear from Raffaele Gianmaria representing the ACI Sport team.
Starting season and Scuola Federale always present.
Yes, we are here in Vallelunga. That is our home track because here is the headquarters of ACI Sport and Scuola Federale. So we are at the second round for this championship, which is amazing because we have in this race 41 drivers. So I think that the fighting that we will see will be amazing. So cross the finger for a race without safety car.
Many meetings during the weekend.
Yeah, many meetings because we are over the capacity of the track. So we have a particular format here in Vallelunga, like in Misano during the first round. So we adopt a format of 4 races. The first 3 are considered as qualifying heats, and the grand final will be tomorrow in the afternoon for the best 36 drivers.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Mr. Raffaele Gianmaria, a highly esteemed, highly accomplished racing driver in his own right, Italian GT champion, racing in International Formula 3000, and one-time Ferrari Formula 1 test driver, if we count 4 laps at Yas Marina circuit about a decade ago in Kimi's car. Mr. Raffaele Gianmaria representing the Automobile Club of Italy, that is ACI Sport, partners with WSK Promotion of this, the world's most competitive junior motor racing series. The 12th season of which the car's out on the circuit for their formation lap. Kin Nakamura Berta will start on pole position. This is Kabir Anurag, starting on the 6th row of the grid. The Singaporean in the top 5 in free practice. We had free practice on Thursday. Alpine F1 Junior Academy driver. Andrea Kostic from Serbia, who'll line up on the 8th row of the grid alongside the Israeli Guy Albag. Beautiful conditions here at the Roman circuit, built back in 1951. Vallelunga starting life as a horse racing track, would you believe? Originally a sand oval, hosted many spectacular events over the years: European Formula 2, International GT, European NASCAR, and the Roman Grand Prix, held for the first time in the early 60s, and last held the Roman Grand Prix for the International Formula 3000 series in 1992, won by the great Alessandro Zanardi. The cars coming onto the grid, excuse that faux pas, we were at Viterbo last week, which is only about 30 kilometres from here, for the first round of the WSK Euro Series of karting. Let's go down to Laudacolo on the grid.
So, Davide, new tires for this season.
Yes, exactly. We are bringing a new specification for 2025, both for dry and wet tires. So we expect it to give more durability with the same performance for the distance of the race. So we expect to have good results and to have very spectacular races this season.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
David Gerosa, representing the Pirelli team. His boss, Mario Island. A busy weekend for Mario, of course, over at the Monaco Formula 1 Grand Prix, supplying tyres to the International Formula 3 Championship, Formula 2, and of course Formula 1, and here, as you just heard from David, new tyre compound for the Italian F.4 Championship. They've been an original partner since 2014, when current Aston Martin F1 driver Lance Stroll took the inaugural title. This is the 12th season. Of course, Freddie Slater dominating in 2024, taking 15 wins out of 21 starts, on his way to becoming only the second ever English champion of the Italian Championship. As we look at Alexander Bondarev going on through car 27, European and WSK kart racing champion. Starts back on grid 14, does Sasha Bondarev. This is Salim Hanna. Had a fabulous first round of the championship at Misano. This is round 2 in beautiful springtime sunshine at the Vallelunga circuit here, just a few miles north of the eternal city of Rome. The Viola Formula Racing team on debut in the Italian F4 Championship. 3-car attack, Amir Tanju, Arthur Lorimer, and Ludovico Busso, the Sicilian. They're starting out of grids 21, 23 and 25 respectively. Debut season for the Viola Formula Racing team after racing in the Formula 2000 series of Italy last year. Amir Tanju actually taking victory in the final round at Monza in the Formula 2000, effectively older spec Formula 3 category. Viola Formula Racing, Artur Lorimer, Vote Da Vinci. Fabulous initiative from the young French driver on debut in the Italian F.4 Championship. Let's go down to Laura Colo, who's speaking with the president of WSK Promotion, Mr. Luca De Donno.
Well, another wonderful season is start.
Yes, another season very, very strong. We start in Misano with 41 driver, and here we have 40 driver. And yes, it's a very, very strong season, and very happy for this start grid. And we have the top team over the world, and very happy for this situation.
Always more international.
Yes, we have 27 different countries, and this is a very international championship.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
2025 marks the 20th anniversary season of WSK Promotion World Motorsport, the first ever race, the WSK International Kart Racing Series, back in 2006. The 20th season of WSK World Motorsport, of course, WSK World Karting, the FIA International and World Championships, WSK World Karting, the Italian F.4 Championship since 2014, and of course the Formula Regional Championship launched in 2019 by WSK Promotion. We go down to the grid. This is the pole sitter. This is the championship leader. This is the Japanese star, second year of racing for Kin Nakamura Berta. Pole position just into the 149s yesterday on a wet but slowly drying circuit in the first group of qualifying. Kin Nakamura Berta is the championship leader on 75 points over Sebastian Weldon. The American, he'll start in race 2 later this evening alongside Luca Samalisto from Finland. In the top 3 through practice as well, US Racing, of course, taking the title, the final round in 2023 with the pole, Kasper Stuka. Thomas Stolchamanis inside second row of the grid for the Latvian in car 33. Former star with the Energy Corsa racing team in WSK World Karting. Who can ever forget his victory at Franciacorta in the WSK Euro Series 2 years ago? A spectacular drive. Check that out on YouTube when you have a chance. Thomas starts from the inside second row of the grid alongside the German Maxim Rem, who incidentally Thomas went wheel to wheel with in that very race, WSK World Karting. Maxim for the Ricky Flynn Motorsport team on that occasion now lines up for the US racing team. He is a star, this kid from Germany. Another US racing driver on the inside third row of the grid who was quickest in practice yesterday. Try and get a glimpse of the South American driver. So much support from Brazil for Gabriel Gomez. That is he in the center of your screen, almost precisely. The third of the US racing drivers, us racing, as Gerhard reminds us. It is not an American team, proudly German from the city of Cologne. The U, of course, for Ungar, as in Gerhard, former Mercedes AMG engineer with their DTM and Le Mans efforts, and the S for Ralf Schumacher. So we take a look at the grid. For the first of 4 races here this weekend, Kin Nakamura Berta, the championship leader on pole position. Luca out of grid 2. Thomas starts out of grid 3 in car 33. And watch the German Maxim Rem out of grid 4. O menino do Brasil, Gabriel Gomez, a South American out of 5. A superb effort from Marcus Sartre out of 6. El Colombiano Salim Hanna. And then the first of the Jensen Motorsport drivers. Grid 8 for the Argentine Theo Schropp in car 21. His teammate Artem Severukin from Kyrgyzstan alongside Alexander Ruta from Poland, Kabir Anurag, the Singaporean, and the former World Kart Racing champion Kirill Kutskov for the Mafi Racing team on the 6th row of the grid, also the driver from Kyrgyzstan. Any afraid? Alexander Bondarev back on grid 14, watching car through the field. Andrea Kostic on 15, alongside the Israeli, the young rookie, Guy Helbag for RSGP, car 44 on the 8th row of the grid. Newman Chi, Bart Harrison, alongside each other, ahead of the Great Dane, David Walter, now finding a setup in the Mafi racing car. Good performance at Misano for the first round of the championship by Bader Al-Sulati. Starts ahead of the Sicilian Ludovico Busso, Andrea Dupe, PHM Racing, who missed a clean lap in qualifying yesterday, Arthur Lorimer from France, Cornelia Olkutska, also from Poland for Mafi Racing. And the final row of the grid for the first race here this weekend, Amir Tanju from Turkey and Nathaniel Berabi, the third Mafi Racing team driver out of grid 26. Beautiful sunshine here at Vallelunga. This is the first of 4 races here this weekend, effectively heat races. The track capacity, 36, so we're 26 for the first 3 heat races. Going into tomorrow evening's final race, tomorrow afternoon, in fact, 3:30 local time, the final race of the second round of the Italian F.4 Championship for 2025. The cars on the grid, the mechanics and teams leaving the grid, and in a few moments we will set off on the formation lap. It is 25 minutes plus 1 lap, thankfully on a dry circuit here at Vallelunga. Nice to have your company. If you are just joining us for the first round, it was Kin Nakamura Berta who took 3 race victories, including the final. Sebastian Weldon, who will be on the grid at 6 o'clock tonight for race 2. Kin Nakamura Berta is the championship leader on 75 points from Sebastian on 53. Maximilian Popov, 2 podiums at the first round of the series for the Van Amersfoort Racing driver. Salim Hanna is on 45 points behind Maximilian, who's on 48. And Emanuele Olivieri, as the 3-minute board goes up, 5th in the series for RSGP on 42 points. For the Northern Italian, who took out the season opening United Arab Emirates Formula 4 Championship earlier on in the year. The 1-minute board, obviously, to go up in just a moment. Right on schedule. This is the first race of the weekend here. The second Automobile Club of Italy ACI Racing weekend. 40 drivers in the Italian F.4 Championship. Also 40, incidentally, in the first round of the Italian GT3 Sprint Championship. The GT3 monsters, they're on track later this afternoon, along with the GT Cup cars. Next round of the championship, we go to the home of the Italian Formula 1 Grand Prix. That's on June 22 at Monza, with the track capacity 51 cars, so we don't expect to divide into groups for the next round of the championship. The 1-minute board to go up here at Vallelunga in just a moment. The first of 4 races. Nice to have your company wherever you are watching us live around the world from the historic Vallelunga circuit. 4,085 metres, just over 4 kilometres this track. Lap record, incidentally, we have to go back to 2006 or 8. Anthony Davison in the ferocious, I'll say this silently, the V10 Honda Formula 1 car, lapping this track in 1 minute 12 seconds. We won't come close to those times here this afternoon. We may well see the lap record of Enzo Fittipaldi, who set a 132.995 back in 2018. That may be broken. That was in the first generation car. This is the second generation Tata's T421 chassis, powered by the slightly more powerful 185 horsepower Auto Technica Abarth turbo engine. As we get prepared for a start, the formation lap in just a moment for the first of 4 races here this weekend at Vallelunga, the second round of the 12th season of the Italian F.4 Championship, presented from the very beginning by WSK Promotion, together with the Automobile Club of Italy. As you heard the president of WSK Promotion just a few moments ago explain, yes, it is an extremely international field. 40 drivers, 27 nations represented. Remarkably, just 3 Italians in the national series. The cars on the formation lap. Down into turn 1. The chimney corners, chimney 1 and 2. Just a little bit of debris on the side of the circuit. The TCR, the Italian Touring Car Championship, was in action for qualifying a few moments ago. The TCR World Tour will join us at the next round of the series. That's at Monza. Of course, you can catch all the action live around the world on Motorsport TV if you can't get to the famed Italian circuit. An earlier start than usual at Monza. Usually it's the final round or the penultimate round. We expect to race in beautiful summertime sunshine. It will just be summer by a day. For the third round of the championship, that's on June 22nd. As you look at Kirill Kutzkov go through, the 2023 World Kart Racing Champion for the Maffi Racing Team, recently announcing their new collaboration with the Ethiopian Motorsport Society. Yes, there is a huge amount of motorsport in Africa. Apart from the hype, apart from the, well, let's just say for the moment, news or speculation about a return of the South African Formula One Grand Prix. As you look at the championship standings in the bottom right, Keen is the series leader and the pole sitter for this. The first of 4 races this weekend. Also the Ethiopian Street Racing Series for sedan cars. And the Maffi Racing Team, of which you see Kirill Kutzkov going through, just behind Kabir Anurag. New joint venture with Maffi Racing, the team with their roots deep in the heart of Africa, the Ethiopian capital of Addis Ababa, the nation once known, or still locally known as Abyssinia. How international is the Italian F4 Championship? As you look at the English-born Japanese-Slovakian for the team from not too far from Venice in the north of Italy, Kin Nakamura Berta put car 51 on pole position. A nice crowd building for the second ACI Racing Weekend of 2025, together with the Italian TCR Touring Car Championship and, of course, the Italian GT3 Championship. This is round 2 of the Italian F4 Championship here at the Long Valley Circuit of Vallelunga. The Van Amersfoort Racing Team down in pit lane. 2 times they've won the series. This is Prema Racing Team, multiple champions as well. Niki Kadai, team manager, just to the left of your screen. Luca Baldisseri to the far right, former engineer for the great Michael Schumacher in the glory days with Ferrari. The green flag at the back of the grid, the 5 red lights for the first time here in Rome. We race. Great start from the second row of the grid from Thomas Stoltemanis, who's already going wheel to wheel with Luca Samalisto. Kin Nakamura Berta down into turn 1. Samalisto, Stoltemanis goes side by side. A clean start as the field head down the hill for the first time. They go 2 wide, they go 3 wide, almost 4 wide. Watch Gabriel Gomez. The Brazilian means business in the early stages of the race. Car 78 from grid 5, the third row of the grid, fighting with Maxim Rem. Gael Bag in the background, fighting with Bondarev and David Walter. Nakamura Berta turns in wide. Samalisto on the inside, he goes wide. Kin Nakamura Berta will get the run and get a little bit of an advantage as they come out of turn 10 for the first time. Now we head into the tight part of the circuit. Slight lock up from K&B. Stoltemanis, Thomas with a lightning start. The Latvian races up into second place. Further back in the background, You see Al Solati, Dupe, Ludovico Busso going on through. Bondarev trying to make up places into Torrentino. And Semaforo, the slowest part of the circuit. The car's down to just 55 kilometres an hour. You can see one of the Van Amersfoort racing drivers without the front wing. It looks to be Alexander Ruta, the Pole, who was up into 10th place, who's going to have to pit inevitably, as does Kabir Anurag, also down into pit lane. As you watch Kutskov go on through, the former World Kart Racing champion. He's made a good start. He goes through, ahead of Guy Elbag, the Israeli, already up into position 13, but KMB in position 1, 1.2 seconds clear. As you look at Anurag, look at the rear wing, badly damaged, that may well be terminal. That is a much longer stop than a front wing changes. Artem Severukian goes up the inside. Salim Hanna just behind. Fabulous start from Severukian for the Jensen Motorsport team. Hanna just behind him, Marcus Sata. Here's Kutskov fighting with Guy Elbag. The Israeli, the young rookie from the Holy Land in the Middle East, is almost inside the top 10. Fantastic start from Guy Elbag, who's also the 4th rookie on track. He Nakamura Berta. The gap coming down slightly. Stoltermanis. Samalisto going through. Gomez up into P4 after that lightning start from the South American. Rem, Hanna, Severukian, the 2nd rookie. Marcus Sata, P8. A super performance from the 3rd Norwegian to race for the Van Amersfoort racing team in the Italian F4 Championship. His countryman, Martinius, a super victory over in Monaco just a few moments ago. And the FIA Formula 3 International Championship, and of course the first Norwegian who won the title for the Dutch Van Amersfoort racing team, Dennis Hauger, back in 2019. So we see going off the road one of the Viola Formula drivers, that is Amir Tanjul. Coming back on, and it looked as though it may have been Bart Harrison involved in that also. Nakamura Berta, the gap comes down slightly. It was in fact Alexander Ruta involved in that first lap acid incident. Stoltermanis, Samalisto. As we settle into a rhythm, the first of 4 races here this weekend. This just a few moments ago into Semaforo. Ram going on through, going airborne on the back of Kabir Anurag. Big damage to Alexander Ruta into the back of the Singaporean. Almost certainly that's the end of Kabir's race. Ludovico Busso going on through as well. And yep, 77. Bart Harrison coming together with a 3rd of the Viola Formula racing cars. Emir Tanju. It looks as though they've been able to continue. That was not actually Bart Harrison's fault, you could see. Had nowhere to go, tried to get onto the brakes, was into the gravel. Does rejoin. It looks as though he did not make any more than very slight contact and will be able to rejoin, albeit way down in 24th position. Nakamura Berta with the lead down to 0.7 of a second. Thomas is catching. Back to Samalisto in P3 from Gomez and Ram. So the US racing drivers, 3, 4 and 5. Ludovico Busso just exiting pit lane now, so he may well be greeted by a blue flag on his return to the circuit. As Kin Nakamura Berta, the pole sitter, the championship leader who dominated the first round of the championship, leads from his Latvian teammate Thomas Stoltermanis. Luka from Finland in P3. Thomas, a 35.002. So not threatening Enzo Fittipaldi's lap record for the moment. This is Artem going through, the 2nd rookie for the Jensen Motorsport team. Severukian, P7, ahead of Marcus Sata. Superb for the young Norwegian. Has dropped a couple of positions off the start, but he's still the 3rd rookie in 8th place overall from Any Freight. 2nd year in the series for the Swiss driver for the Swiss Jensen Motorsport team. And the 2023 World Kart Racing champion, Kirill Kutskov, rounds out the top 10. This is his teammate though, Kornelia Olkutska from Poland, who's beached it in the gravel. Pressure now under our new race director, Mr. Dino Lodala. He may well be faced with no choice depending on where that car is beached. Kornelia Olkutska into the gravel, and that brings out the safety car for the first time this weekend. Unfortunately, Kornelia Olkulska into the gravel, bringing out the safety car for the first time. Hopefully it is the last. We had a very clean run at Misano, where the safety car appeared for just 3 laps of 100 minutes of racing. This, the tail end of the accident. It looks as though her car was straight, undamaged, but beached in the gravel. So we start lap 5 with Nakamura Berta's lead of 1 second evaporating. Stoltemanis in second place. Samalisto, Gomez, Rem, Salim. The Colombian, Salim Hanna, whose driver coach is not here this weekend. This is Alexander Bondarev, though. Down in pit lane, a new front wing for the Ukrainian. The Williams F1 Academy junior driver, pitting under full course yellow, was down in 20th position. Nathaniel Betterby also down in pit lane. There was Kabir Anurag also at the exit of pit lane. The rear wing, it looks as though that will be too much for the Alpine F1 Junior Academy driver. Bondarev, 21st position. Ludovico Busso, the Sicilian, will be able to stay on the lead lap just. He's being waved by the magnificent Lamborghini Urus safety car here. There's Kutzkov, Chi, Teo Schropp, Gael Bags drop back to 13th, head of Andrea Dupe, David Walter up to 15. Al Solati, Lorimer, Andrea Kostic. This is Bart Harrison down in pit lane. The distinct voice of team owner Andreas Jenser in the background. Remember, they did take the title with the Argentine Marcus Sieber in 2016. That nail-biting final at Monza, where he overcame the German Mick Schumacher to win in the 2016 Italian F4 Championship for the Jensen Motorsport team. So it may well be a quick safety car intervention as Kornelia Olkulska's car, the 91 Muffy Racing car, is dragged off the circuit. It looks to be undamaged. That's the only positive for the pole. Her teammate, Nathaniel Betterby, is out, as is Kabir Anurag. Bart Harrison stuck down in pit lane. Ludovico Busso does rejoin, as does Alexander Bondarev. Ruta Alexander still on the lead lap after contact in the early stages. So we expect to go green next time round. That's Kutzkov going through ahead of Newman Chi, who drones in on the back of the Muffy Racing team driver, who's inside the top 10. A much better turnaround for the Muffy Racing team. Danny and Chris Muffy, the second Swiss team in the series, together with Jensen Motorsport. Nakamura Berta from pole position is the race leader. He's got Thomas Stoltemanis, his teammate, behind. And then the US Racing drivers, 3, 4 and 5. Luca Samalisto from Finland, Gabriel Gomez from Brazil, and the German Maxim Rem. Salim Hanna, just getting back to that point, his driver coach Sebastian Montoya not here this weekend. About to go on track, a superb P5 for Sebastian Montoya in the FIA Formula 2 World Championship over at the Monaco Grand Prix. Buena suerte, Sebastian, for the Prema Racing team. His protege, Salim Hanna, is currently P6 and the first of the rookies. Sebastian Montoya racing with us in the 2020 and 21 Italian F4 Championships. Multiple podiums for the Colombian. And it's his countryman, his protege, on your screen right there. Salim Hanna, who's P6 outright and the first rookie. Marcus Sata, 67, the third Norwegian to race for the Van Amersfoort racing team in the series. As we get news from race control that the safety car comes in this lap. Marcus Sata, third rookie, he's dropped to 8th outright, but still inside the top 10. So Kin Nakamura-Berta, second year in the series, so much more experience and a lot more relaxed. He told us yesterday after qualifying. He will lead the field away. Thomas Stoltemanis right behind him. And Lucas Samalisto, car 7 for the US racing team, who are 3, 4 and 5. The slowest part of the circuit, they're doing 50 kilometres an hour in racing conditions. You can see that's walking pace. KNB waits in 51 for Thomas. In 33, right behind, through Tornantino, which literally translates as the little chicane up to La Curva Roma, the Roman curve. And King goes, he accelerates. They cannot pass until they cross the start-finish line. The green flag flies now. Kin Nakamura-Berta, a perfect restart. Thomas Stoltemanis now has to defend from the first of the US racing drivers, who are 3, 4 and 5. Nakamura-Berta already with 7/10 of a second lead. The slipstream with something of an effect as they race down the hill on the restart into the chimney curves. Kutzkoff behind Frey and Sata ahead of Chi. Schropp, Teo up into 12 from Guy Elbag, Dupé, Walter, Al Solati, the Qatari kart racing champion, ahead of Artur Lorimer, Andrea Kostic, Amir Tanjul, Ruta Bondre back in 21st position, and the Sicilian Busso in 22nd. The speeds as they cross the line, you can add another 20 or so to that as they race down into the chimney curves. Better second sector this time from Thomas Stoltemanis. The gap comes down to 4/10 of a second. Marcus Sata under attack. Severukian. Any affray, in fact it is. The Swiss driver on the Norwegian, they go side by side, wheel to wheel. It is Marcus on the inside, and right behind, here comes KK for the Maffei racing team. Newman Chi up into P11 from Schropp, and Gael Bag and Andrea Dupé. Stoltemanis looking good. The gap down to 4/10 of a second to his teammate. Eni Affray, P9 in car 20 for the Jensen Motorsport team. His teammate Severukian just up 2 positions ahead. As they come onto the straight to start lap 8, it is Kin Nakamura-Berta from Thomas Stoltemanis. Newman Cheese getting a fantastic run on Kirill Kutzkoff, trying to break inside the top 10 as Thomas puts in a 35.002. Fastest lap of the race now. Stoltemanis closes up as they go into the chimney curves. Samalisto, Gomez, and Maxim Rem in 71. Kutzkoff having to defend in the background from Newman Chi. Tries the inside, then goes to the outside, does Newman. Kirill Kutzkoff for the Maffei racing team. But Newman Chi holds it. Newman on the outside, it becomes the inside. And with that super move, Newman Chi drones in on a top 10 position. Nice pass. That was superb from the young Chinese driver. Kirill Kutzkoff frustratingly now falls out of the top 10. And Teo Schropp, the third Jensen Motorsport car, on the back of the Maffei racing driver, whose teammates Berby and Old Kutzka have just retired. So watch Kirill Kutzkoff fight back, tucked right under the rear wing of Newman Chi from the People's Republic of China. For the Prema racing team from Vicenza, not too far from the ancient city of Venice. Here for the second round of the championship, north of the eternal city of Rome, for round 2 of the 2025 series, and the driver who missed out narrowly on the 2024 rookie title. He did score a couple of race wins in last year's series. Kin Nakamura-Berta puts the lead back out to 9/10 of a second over Thomas Stoltemanis, and Lucas Samalisto still in P3. trying to break the slipstream as they go up into turn 10. This is Cornelia Olkutska. The car has made its way back into pit lane. This just a few moments ago. Alsolati, wow, out into the gravel at the exit of the Roma Cordova. Superb skill to hold it and bring it back on track. This was Newman Chi around the outside of Kirill Kutskov a few moments ago. With that, the Chinese driver drives into the top 10. Kutskov, a position outside the points with 8.5 minutes plus 1 lap remaining in the first of 4 races this weekend here at the Long Valley circuit of Vallelunga, round 2 of the 2025 Championship. King Nakamura Berta, 3 victories from 3 starts in the first round of the series at Misano. This is Gabriel Gomez, quickest in practice on Thursday. It was a free practice session all day on Thursday. Gabriel was quickest, but at the moment he's a step off the podium. Nakamura Berta. K&B races across the line, the gap out to 9/10 of a second. Still within the, let's say, hypothetical DRS zone, which these cars do not have, and a 34.997 goes fastest. In reality, just a little bit too far back to get the benefit of the slipstream, which was really significant at Misano, coming onto the back straight, up to 3/10 of a second advantage. At Misano, we can expect double that as we go to round 3 of the championship at the fastest circuit on the calendar, Monza. That is on June 22. So the gap seesawing. Stolchemanis quicker in the tighter part of the circuit, including right here. There's the US racing drivers, Samalisto, Gomez and Rem. Maxim in 71. Back to the first rookie, Salim Hanna Hernandez, P6 in car 88 for the Prema Racing team. Good drive from Severukian. This is Artem, the first of the Jensen Motorsport drivers. Second rookie, as K&B turns in, accelerates smoothly. Former European kart racing champion and, of course, 2021 World Kart Racing champion for the Forza Racing team when he won that race in the south of Spain in the pouring rain at Campillos. His name going down in history, one of 2 World Kart Racing champions in the field, along with Kirill Kutskov, who's still trying to break back inside the top 10. Samalisto. Now 1 second dead behind Stolchemanis. Salim Hanna is really looking good on the back of Maxim Rem. First rookie and 6th outright is the Colombian. This is Thomas Stolchemanis. The gap 7/10 of a second. Let's go down and hear from Cornelia Olkutska, who's speaking with Laura Cola.
Yeah, Cornelia, real pity. What happened?
Yeah, so before I got touched by some other driver and just went there, and that's it basically. Just touch, and the car was not the same as before, and I just spun, so yeah.
The weekend is still long.
Yeah, we are preparing for tomorrow for the second race, so yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bad luck for Cornelia Olkutska, the young Polish rookie. Of course, Poland taking the Italian Championship in 2023 with Kasper Stuka for the US Racing team, who are still in 3rd, 4th and 5th. There's the best of their drivers. Luca Samalisto in P3. Alexander Ruta from Poland is still in the race in car 38 in 19th place. Salim Hanna gets a tremendous run now on the back of Maxim Rem. WSK Open Kart Racing champion from 2022 with RFM at South Garda Karting. Watch down into Chimney 1, surely too far back to send it from there. And in the background, Marcus Sata fighting back on Artem Severukian. Luca now responds for the US Racing team, a 34.888, and the Finn goes fastest. Stolchemanis 2:17 through the speed trap. That's the quickest we've seen thus far this weekend. Remember, that's at the start-finish line, which is only just on the exit of La Curva Roma. The Roman corner, you can add 20 or 25 to that. They race down into turn 1. As we said in our introduction, not going to threaten Anthony Davidson's time in the Honda Formula 1 car from 2006 when he lapped in a 1:12. And at the moment, Enzo Fittipaldi's lap record is safe for the moment at 32.995 for the Brazilian 6 years ago. As we see Luca off, Samalisto straight into the wall. Lucas Samalisto steers straight ahead, and the Finn from P3 is out. Lucas Samalisto straight ahead, understeering. He's driven into the grass. The front right tried to get maximum turn in, open up the corner, and the front right just into the grass. And he's just driven off ever so slightly. We're talking at millimetres, maybe an inch. The front right, there's no traction in the green grass of Vallelunga. Lucas Samalisto into the wall, and a Podium disappears from the Finn's grass, who is still fastest on circuit. The safety car out. 34.888. He just recorded the fastest lap of the race. Lucas Samalisto steps out of car 7. And unfortunately, the safety car deployed for the second time this weekend. Lucas Samalisto out from position 3, out from a podium position. A disastrous start for the Finn, who was actually the fastest on circuit, even faster than the race leader, Kin Nakamura. Walks back to the pits. Again, just watch the front right. Tries to open up the corner. Just no traction, and the car understeers, obviously, inevitably, into the grass, into the barrier. And Lucas Samalisto, fastest driver on circuit from position 3, is out. A disaster for Lucas Samalisto. The safety car out for the second time this weekend, unfortunately. So Gabriel Gomez moves up into P3 in a potential podium for the Brazilian. Not in the way he would have liked, though. There's the Prema Racing team. They're still running 1-2 for the moment. Well, Lucas Samalisto from Finland will need to put on his very, very best poker face as he walks back to face Gerhard Unger in pit lane in a few moments' time. He joins Cornelia Okulska, Bart Harrison, Kabir Anurag, Nathaniel Beraby as the 5 retirements from the first race of 4 here this weekend. Round 2 of the 2025 Italian F4 Championship. And Kin Nakamura, the championship leader, the pole sitter, is looking at his 4th victory so far in 2025. Lap 14, and we will pass the 25-minute mark at the end of this lap. So potentially, hopefully, possibly a 1-lap sprint to the checkered flag. Pressure on our new race director, Mr. Dino Lodola, who did a sterling job at the first round of the championship at Misano. Of course, massive respect to Mr. Alessandro Ferrari, who is still here this weekend, officiating the Italian GT Championship. Mr. Ferrari. Alessandro also as race director for the recent Imola round of the World Endurance Championship, the Hypercar Series. Passing the reins to Dino Lodola as race director after so many years of faithful service to the Italian F4 Championship. So we've passed the 25-minute mark. Hopefully we get a 1-lap sprint. Although Kin Nakamura would be happy, more than happy, to finish behind that magnificent Urus safety car here at Vallelunga. Race 1 of 4 here this weekend. This is Groups B versus C. 40 drivers exceeding the track capacity of 36. Divided into groups from qualifying. Kin Nakamura was fastest in the first group. The track dry, David Cosmo Christopher. As you look at Kirill Kutskov, who does move back inside the top 10 after the unfortunate demise of Samalisto, and we're getting word from race control. The race will finish behind the safety car. Kin Nakamura will take victory for the 4th time this weekend. I'll say that again. The first time this weekend and the fourth time this year. Through Semaforo, which literally translates as the traffic light corner. The slowest corner, in fact, I'll stand corrected on this, possibly the slowest corner in the entire championship. From here, of course, we go to the Cathedral of Speed, Monza, the home of the Italian Formula One Grand Prix. That's on June 22. Home of the Tuscan F1 Grand Prix, Mugello for round 4 on July 13. Imola, which actually is the circuit where we see the fastest speeds, well over 250 kilometres an hour at the Emilia-Romagna Formula One Grand Prix circuit. Of course, a fantastic victory to Max just 6 days ago. That's round 5 on the first Sunday in August. Barcelona in Catalonia, Spain for round 6 on 21st of September. As the last lap board waves concurrently with the yellow flag and the series final back at Misano on October 12. This is the last lap. Frustratingly somewhat, we'll finish behind the safety car after Luca Samalisto trying to open up the left hand of the slowest corner on the circuit and try and get the drive on the exit. The front right just into the grass. He understeered straight ahead, trying to get the car to turn in. He was the fastest driver on circuit. Will be recorded with the fastest lap, but that is little. In fact, it's zero compensation or consolation for the Finn, who was looking at a podium and a good start to the weekend. Disintegrates. He joins Cornelia Okulska, Bart Harrison, Kabir Anurag, and Nathaniel Berraby. 5 retirements. Bader Al-Sulati, the 2023 Qatari kart racing champion. He was into the gravel, coming on to the start-finish straight, mid-race. And the Qatari driver did really well to bring it back on track. He will get to the checkered flag behind the Sicilian Ludovico Busso. Kirill Kortskov inside the top 10. First point scoring finish for the Maffi Racing Team of 2025. The Viola Formula drivers going through. That was Al Sulati in car 26. Kim Nakamura Berta will take victory for the 4th time in 2025 and extend his series lead. He'll watch from pit lane, race 2. That's at 6 o'clock this evening. He'll be back on grid 1. Actually, no, grid 2 for race 3 tomorrow morning. That's at 9 a.m. And the series final, the round final of the second round of the series tomorrow afternoon. 36 drivers to make it into the final. 4, unfortunately, will watch from pit lane. The race will finish in a few moments' time behind the safety car. Any Afray, P8 for the Swiss driver, for the Swiss team, Jensen Motorsport team. His teammate Artem Severukian just 2 positions ahead. Salim Hanna Hernandez, 6th outright, and the first rookie home. Severukian will be 2nd in the rookie category, and Marcus Sata, P7 for the Norwegian, and will finish on the rookie podium. Theo Schropp will just miss the top 10. The driver from the north of Buenos Aires in Argentina, coming home P11, so the Jensen Motorsport team can be happy with their first outing of the weekend. 2 drivers inside the top 10. Theo just missing it by a single position. Out of La Curva Roma, out of the Roman corner for the final time, and the checkered flag does wave for the series leader, Kim Nakamura Berta, who takes his 4th victory of 2025 to extend his lead in this year's series. Nakamura Berta from Stoltemana's Gabriel Gomez in P3. From Maxim Rem, Salim Hanna. Artem Severukian trundling over the line. P6, second rookie home, and Marcus Sata There's the Norwegian in 7th place from Any Afraid. Newman Chi, great drive from Newman. And Kirill Kurtskov inside the top 10. This is your race winner for the 4th time in 2025. The former Alpine F1 Academy junior driver. Surely they are ruining their decision to drop this Japanese star who extends his lead in the championship. Plenty going on in the Alpine F1 team. Maybe Keen's pleased to be clear of it. The Infinity Management driver, let's say that, managed by Gary and Harry, and their English-born Japanese star has taken victory for the Prema Racing team for the 4th time in 2025. Stoltemanis 2nd, and Gabriel Gomez. Good start to the weekend for the South American. First US racing driver home in 3rd place. Salim Hanna comes into pit lane, P5, and wins the rookie race. Sebastian about to suit up for the Formula 2 Grand Prix over in Monaco. His protege, P5 outright. And first rookie home. Thomas, 2nd place. So something of a slight anticlimax there to the finish of our first race here this weekend. Kin Nakamura Berta takes victory for the 4th time in 2025. Thomas 2nd, and the boy from Brazil, Gabriel Gomez, home in 3rd place. Maxim Rem, Salim Hanna, first rookie, and P5 outright from Severulkin. Sata on the rookie podium again. Any Afraid, Newman Chi, great drive to P9. And Kirill Kurtskov takes points for the Maffei Racing team. Just heading home, the Argentine, Theo Schropp. The new podium here at Vallelunga. Kin Nakamura Berta will stand on the top step in just a moment. P3 for the South American. O Menino do Brasil, Gabriel Gomez. Great start to the weekend for the South American P3. Thomas Stoltemanis, a lightning launch for the Latvian, comes home in 2nd place. In 33 for the Prema Racing team. Kin Nakamura Berta takes victory for the 4th time in 2025, and he's down with Lada
Well, the
Cola.
championship has definitely started off on the right foot for you.
Yeah, no, 4 wins out of 4 races. It's a pretty big statement, and I think it's a good way to start the year so far. Obviously, there's quite a few races left, so we have to keep ourselves on the ground. We just have to keep working. It was quite tough, that race. There was quite a big headwind going down into T1, so I was losing like three temps in Sector 1, and so yeah, I had to push around the other parts of the track, but overall it's a good race. Hopefully our next race can go similar to this one, but yeah, we'll just need to keep working and yeah, keep moving forwards.
Good job.
Thank you.
We'll take a look at the highlights of the first race this weekend. From pole position, Kin Nakamura Berta led away, but a lightning launch from the Latvian Thomas Stoltemanis, who went wheel to wheel with Lucas Samalisto down into turn 1, drove by and took the fin for 2nd place. In the early stages of the first race here this weekend, but Kin Nakamura Berta having to defend in the early stages. The retirements adding up. We lost 5 drivers. This was Bart Harrison coming in to the side of Emir Tanju. Cornelia Olkudska beached the Maffei Racing at 91 car in the gravel. She also retired. This was brilliant control by the Qatari Al Solati, who brought the Jensen Motorsport car back on track and brought it to the checkered flag. as did Kinnakamura Berta. It was under safety car conditions. And then this, Lucas Samalisto understeering into the wall after just turning in. That brought out the safety car, and Kinnakamura Berta raced away to take his 4th victory of 2025. The championship leader in the early stages of the 12th season of this, the world's most competitive junior car racing series, in beautiful conditions here north of the eternal city of Rome. Vallelunga for the 2nd round of this year's series. On the podium, Gabriel Gomez in 3rd place, and Thomas Dolcemanis in P2. Kinnakamura Berta, P1 for the 4th time this year. Mr. Marco Ferrari representing the Automobile Club of Italy, presenting the 3rd place trophy to Gabriel, 2nd to Thomas, and KMB P1 once again. Brazil, Latvia and Japan 3-2-1 here in the Italian Championship.
E adesso invece è il momento dell'inno nazionale.
Ominous early signs for the rest of the field as Kinnakamura Berta, who dominated at Misano, also dominates the opening of 4 races here this weekend at Vallelunga. He'll watch race 2 from pit lane. We've got a new pole sitter, the first ever Romanian pole sitter, David Cosma Christopher. We'll start from pole position for race 2. That's at 6 o'clock local time this evening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you then.